Members of the Japanese Nuclear Energy Commission and opposition lawmakers in South Korea gathered together to look for alternative solutions on dumping the nuclear wastewater from the Fukushima power plant. Natsumi Kojima has the details.
Japanese Nuclear Energy Commission members and South Korean opposition lawmakers discussed alternative solutions to treating the nuclear contaminated water rather than releasing it into the sea at a meeting in Japan. Dumping the nuclear contaminated water from the crippled Fukushima nuclear power plant is not a solution for the members of the Japanese Nuclear Energy Commission and South Korean opposition lawmakers. This is why they joined together to look for alternative solutions to the plan. Experts from the Citizens Commission on Nuclear Power agree that the impact of discharging nuclear contaminated water into the sea is long-lasting with complicated results, pointing out that it is irresponsible to release nuclear contaminated water into the ocean. South Korea's opposition lawmakers reiterated their opposition to the discharge plan as its safety cannot be guaranteed and worry that nuclear contaminated water will bring irreversible harm to the global marine environment. Japanese expert Kawai Yasuro also briefed the lawmakers on several more scientific ways to deal with the contaminated water.
溜まっている汚染水はモルタル固化して海洋には流さなくていいよと、そうすればですね、で地上で固形物のまま置いときなさいという提案を最善の案として出しました。汚染水を外に海洋に捨てなくても解決案はあるんだということを改めて韓国のミッションの方々、共に民主党の皆さんにご説明をしました。
Sugenami Tamotu, another commission member, said that the discharge of radioactive substance into the sea is an international issue that involves major international responsibility and criticized Tokyo Electric Power Company or TEPCO for dumping wastewater into the Pacific Ocean.
やはり海に放射性物質を流すということは国際的な問題だと思います。国際的に極めてその責任の重い問題だと思います。薄めればいいということではありませんし、太平洋の海水は東京電力のものでもありませんから、それを自分たちの好きなだけ使っていいというような考え方自体ですね、極めて傲慢だと思います。でそれは海外の人、韓国でしたり太平洋諸国の人たちがこれを問題にするのは当然だと思います。
Experts, lawmakers, and concerned citizens are hoping that the Japanese government and TEPCO will listen to their voices and will scrap their plans to look for alternative and safe solutions. 以上、日本から小島のNatsumiニュースお伝えしました。SMNI News, Japan.
Japanese citizens rallied in the streets of Tokyo to protest against their prime minister's attendance to the NATO leaders summit in Lithuania. Ken Tashimoto reports.
Prime Minister Fumio Kishida's attendance to the NATO's Leaders Summit in Lithuania marks the second consecutive year that a Japanese Prime Minister has attended such event, causing great dissatisfaction among Japanese citizens.
People were holding banners that read "No wars" and "No to revision of the Constitution," and chanted slogans to oppose the Japanese government's continuous alignment with NATO and significant increase in defense spending. They feared that these actions could lead Japan down a dangerous path towards militarization.
第二次世界大戦で日本が一体どういうことをしたのかということだというふうに思うんですよね。それは朝鮮半島に対する植民地支配であるし、あるいは中国に対する侵略戦争というふうなことを、5月の広島サミットから今回の岸田首相による NATO 会議出席に至るまでね、岸田の言うようなこの自国を守るためのそういった戦争では全くないということだというふうに思います。全世界の人々がこんな戦争には絶対反対なんだと言って自分の国で戦争反対の声を上げていく。
Earlier this year, NATO announced the decision to set up a liaison office in Tokyo in 2024 to boost bilateral ties. However, many protesters complained about the potential NATO office in Japan, calling it a preparation for war.
言ってもいいようなところに、岸田首相が参加するっていうこと、それから東京に NATO の事務所を作るっていう話もありますけど、それは要するに戦争の加担するといいますか、参加していくっていうことであって、そういうことは断固として許せないと、そういうふうに考えて。
今 NATO という北大西洋条約機構という形で日本からは遠い国で起こっているはずの戦争に日本がわざわざ出かけていく、 そして日本に NATO の事務所さえ作ったらどうかとまで言う。なぜそんなことを言うのかといえば、ウクライナ戦争をアジアに持ってきたい。それを許さない。嘘を見抜いて暴露して訴えて、多くの人々が心を一つにして手をつなぐことを今やろう。
今私たちが本当に非正規職とかで食べていけない状態で困ってるのにね、それを全然関係なしで軍事費だけ上げていく、これ自体がもう本当に戦争そのものだと思うしね、そういう危機感で私も集会に参加しているところなんです。
Meanwhile, prior to attending the NATO Leaders Summit, the Prime Minister of Japan held talks with his Polish counterpart, Mateusz Morawiecki, to further deepen their ties as well as to address ongoing issues. Kishida stopped by Warsaw to meet with Morawiecki to talk about security in the region, as Poland's neighboring country, Ukraine, has been fighting to repel Russia for almost 17 months. The two prime ministers also had discussions on strengthening their economic ties after stagnating in the pandemic. Poland, on the other hand, welcomed a recent large investment by Japanese air conditioning giant Daikin Industries. In addition, Kishida and Morawiecki also agreed to increase cooperation in areas of advanced technology, cybersecurity, liquid gas, and railways. Kishida has visited Poland back in March when he showed Japan's support to Poland's military and humanitarian assistance to Ukraine, while also announcing a special financial program to aid Poland's efforts.
Meanwhile, protesters said that the Japanese government is used by the US as a pawn to increase defense spending while ignoring people's livelihood. 以上日本から梨本健太でした。SMNI News Japan.
Meanwhile, Vermont is facing a devastating flood. Heavy rainfall has caused widespread destruction, leaving residents stranded and the city in a state of emergency. Here's more from Sigrid Castañeda.
Montpelier, the state capital of Vermont, is in a state of emergency due to severe flooding caused by heavy rainfall. The situation is described as catastrophic, with roadways impassable and residents stranded in their homes. Governor Phil Scott has declared the flooding in Vermont as historic and catastrophic. The downtown area of Montpelier is severely affected, with streets submerged in floodwaters reaching the windows of businesses and vehicles. The Wrightsville Dam near the city is at maximum capacity, posing a threat of further flooding if it spills over. Climate scientists link these extreme weather events to human-driven climate change. Other regions in the United States are experiencing soaring temperatures, such as scorching heat in Florida and Texas and extreme desert temperatures in California. Efforts to rescue stranded residents are underway, with search teams using swift boats to evacuate people from their homes and cars. Highway closures have made evacuations challenging, leaving residents urged to seek safety on higher floors. The flood brought a huge economic impact, with damages and losses estimated to reach between $3 billion and $5 billion. Reporting this has been Sigrid Castañeda, SMNI News.